Our nail was already prepped and a base coat has already been applied. We are applying a very slip layer of our Biab extension. You dip by placing your brush under the Biab extension and raising it up, sliding it left and right to pick a medium bead like so. You place that on the apex and you make sure you situate that on the apex. You will not have structure without putting it on the apex. And then you slide left to right like I'm doing, playing around it. If it's a good Biab extension, you would be able to play around with it. I'm using a medium art brush around the corners just to extend it to the corner. The reason why you put a slip layer is because you'd want to control your Biab. How it works is the area you put your slip layer is exactly where your Biab will overflow through. Pick out any air bubbles with your art brush. After blending in, I always make sure they turn the hands upside down for 6 seconds. After flipping up, it will self-level itself like this before you cure. You will cure for 60 seconds. You can start working on the other hand while it's curing. After curing, I'm applying another slip layer to the next finger. Make sure you don't rub product on her skin or her cuticles or side walls. A slip layer means using a little extension on it. That will help you control where your bead will overflow to. While picking, always remember to slide your brush downwards and then move them left and right to stop it from dripping. Place that on the apex and make sure you situate that on the apex. Push it a bit for 2 seconds without pushing it toward the skin. Once it sticks to the edge, you can start moving your brush and product toward the free edge. Always remember to hold 2 seconds toward the cuticle so it sticks. Since it leveled itself, I'm using the art brush a little bit just to make sure the corners are not overrunning. A good Biab product is not overrunning, it's not too thick and it's not too thin. You would be able to work with it. We are flipping again for about 6 to 7 seconds and then we flip backwards. You see how it has self-leveled itself. A good Biab extension would always self-level itself. We are applying another slip layer by carrying a little bit of Biab extension. Always remember to apply a slip layer, very little layer. Applying that very little, picking our Biab extension, always remember to fetch it upwards so your brush is not messy and it's one-sided. Sliding left and right. When it stops dripping, you place that on the apex. You always hold for 2 seconds so it sticks to the cuticle before you start moving your product toward the free edge. You do not have to worry, you'll get it right with several practice, of course. When you are satisfied working with your art pen, you can always flip it upside down. Remember to always flip. Hold your hands upward so it doesn't overfloat. You can turn the hands upward. See where it's not well leveled. Level it with the brush. Settle it again for like 3 seconds before curing. Always make sure you hold. If you do not hold it properly and you are bending it to the corners, your product will move to where you are bending it to. Make sure it's upright. If you notice, the index finger was broken. My client broke her nails before coming. Using forms, we'll be carrying a small bead of extension. Since we are doing a medium length nail, we'll apply that as short as possible since they are not long nails. And then we start moving our products just the way you do your overlay. We are moving it toward the cuticle side. Remember to use a very small portion so it doesn't overflow under the nail. If you notice sometimes when you use Biab, it overflows to the back of the nail and then it sticks to their hand. Use a very small layer and then you place that on the apex. You are not going to place it very full because we are extending an overlay. We are not working full forms. You see that it did not overflow to the back because it was a small portion. And then we'll go ahead and remove our form after we had cured it for 60 seconds. If you use the correct amount, it would not overflow. It will be neat without filing. A good Biab would always pop off. We'll apply a slip layer again without filing because it's very light and it's not puffy. before we overlay on it. This is better for a good retention for a nail that is very short. If you do it this way, your nails will not fall off. If you've done customers' nails and they are complaining that they've fallen off, it's because you extended them and there was no support and you did not build apex. If your apex is not well built, your nails would remove. They would not last because it has no structure. We are flipping upside down again to make sure it's situated at the apex before curing. The last finger, I'm applying a slip layer again. Always remember that a slip layer is just a small portion of Biab. Apply it like your top coat. It will help you control where your Biab would sit on. Wherever you apply, that's where it will stop and that's where it will stick. It doesn't mean it won't overfloat if the hands are not balanced. We are applying this last finger toward the cuticle, pushing it just 1 millimeter close to the cuticle, and then we move our product. If you do not have a good Biab extension, it would not work like this. Despite it's not in a bottle, it doesn't matter. This is still a builder gel, but it's not inside the bottle. There are some products you apply to your forms. Your forms will refuse coming out of the nails and it will be stuck. You will have to file it out. You just be careful to level it without putting it on her skin. Make sure you always clean before you cure, if at all it's touching the side walls. This was the final result of our Biab. You see that the apex is well built and our Biab extension is not running over. See you in the next class. Ask any questions if you have to.